Good afternoon, gardeners and homesteaders. Welcome to the 42nd parallel. Anyway, this is about how I make compost. It's January 3rd at about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's approximately 50 Fahrenheit, 10 Celsius. Anyway, this is how I make compost. All my leaves and everything go in here, wood ash. This pile's frozen, and this pile I began. And if you look on that dial, it's about 65 degrees Celsius, or about 155 degrees in the center. So this is working. That's part of the getting the biomass going to break things down. Now, I have an idea to heat my greenhouse. I could put a coil in one of these bins and extract some of the heat in the wintertime, and then put the water under my beds, but I'm not there yet. And after 2 years, this is all from off my own land, leaves, everything I've grown gets chopped up and put in here. And this is about 1.5 years old, and in the spring I'm going to grate this out again and get some of the big chunks of wood out there. And what gets separated goes back into another bin, and it's half rotten. And the woody material takes 2 years to break down. I have peanut shells in here, and they take about 3 years to break down, actually. But I just keep putting them back in the bin. And it works. And I make approximately 3 to 6 yards of my own compost in a year, just by recycling tree branches, leaves, anything I've grown in the garden. The advantages of I have a tractor now. Before I could not make that much. So let's go in the greenhouse. See what happened after the frost. This is more like a typical winter. Now that it's into January, the sun comes back. It's November and December are the killer months for me. There's no sunshine. So, the result is, after 96 hours of below zero weather, some of it's going to come out okay. Some leaves will get lost. And chances are these leaves that survived here, you won't want to eat them, but the plant is still alive and you can eat the new shoots, peel the leaves off. But you can see by the outside edges, there's a little bit of frost damage here. But in the center we were fine. We only had a 1/2 inch of crust underneath of our fleece, and the styrofoam saved the bed from getting frozen. My moisture is just into the green on my moisture meter. I have watered them today, but I use all this compost, and it dries out pretty quick. But when the cold weather returns, you have to watch your moisture so your bed doesn't freeze. This is stuff that I transplanted from plug trays into pots. These are about 3-4 inch pots. And these I'll take in the house and put under the grow light when the weather gets cold. But now it's perfectly fine out here right now because it's 60 degrees. So yeah, I just keep rotating, putting them in the trays, get bigger because I needed more room. The ruby red here does really good in the cold, and so does ordinary romaine. This stuff here is Great Lakes. It's a head lettuce like you'd buy at the store. Yeah, it's about 120 days. It's a little trickier. These are Lisbon bunching onions that have been in here for a year as an experiment. And it looks like the spinach coming through okay. We're pretty good. We had some radishes here, some German giants, and they were frozen solid. But a little bit of frost damage, but I think they'll be fine. Over here is how I grow my lettuce. I take and I mass sow different varieties in this tray. And then I simply take a popsicle stick. Well, sometimes. Anyway. Mass sowing is a lot better. Then I merely separate the plants and put them into a plug tray. And put them under the grow light if it gets too cold. And then later those will get transplanted into pots, and I'm pretty well succession is the big thing. I follow Charles Dowding UK. He's really good at the compost and growing out of season. He's in England. He's a lot higher latitude than I am, but here in Canada we get a lot more cold weather. Another thing on a sunny day is this 45-gallon tank of water. The black barrel doesn't allow algae to grow inside it, and it also absorbs heat. So on sunny days like this, that might get up to 85-90 degrees. Last week it was frozen about 6 inches down, but then that radiates heat at night too. So the biggest part this time of year is getting the humidity regulated. When it's cool and sunny, you get too much humidity in here, and that could lead to disease. But that's why I put a little bit of straw to soak up some of that moisture and to keep the frost out. So anyway, gardening is a struggle this time of year, but I'm over the hump now. Come into January, we get a lot more sunny days. The days get longer, and I actually have to run my fan a lot. And me and my wife come out here, and a day in January it could be 75-80 degrees out here and sunny about noon till 2 o'clock. So anyway, this is how an update to, yes, I survived the frost. Not everything did. My 5-year-old celery plant, it succumbed and got rotten. I had to tear it out. But anyway, I got lots of seed. I just have to start over again. Thanks for watching.